Yeah. Back on the grind, remember the times I'm feeling like Michael. Taking a stand, creating a plan, and beating the cycle. We got a whole lot of what we gotta do. Give me the raw, give me the real, just give me the truth. We start a conversation, then let the world debate it. Breath of fresh air coming through just like ventilation. And no boy, let me tell you about the squad. A dream team, so you know they coming hard. Now first up, let me tell you about Jay. You know he wise, man, that boy got knowledge for days. Check out his mind. Then we got Sean coming through like Thanos, keep him in line. He's a quiet storm, but don't get it twisted, you see the grind. And next up, we gotta talk about Nate. You know she slay. She got the brains and the beauty plus strength to keep you straight. And last but not least, we got Nostradamus. He's the voice of the people, so he'll keep it poppin'. My squad gon' keep it 100, and that's all facts. They're here to spark the conversation. Now you debate that.
Welcome to another episode of Debate That, where we discuss relationships, pop culture, social issues, and much, much more. My name is Jay.
And I'm Nay, back in the house.
I'm Sean.
And today we have a special guest. And this gentleman I've known since high school. Now, I'm 40 years old. And so high school for me was a long time ago. It's not often that you connect. Girl, stop. This is not often that you connect with somebody and make a connection from high school, because people change and they do other things. But I'm so proud of this gentleman being able to do the things that he does, and also being a guest on the show and bringing his perspective. So I'd like to introduce Mr. DJ Official.
What's up? How y'all doing?
Go ahead and
I got you. Yo, make sure you follow me on all social media, all platforms, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Everything is at DJ Official, at DJ OFFISHAL. What are your thoughts on the Juneteenth becoming a federal holiday?
Oh, well,
I saw it on my calendar.
I found out this way. Somebody gave me a call and was like, yo, you know, Juneteenth is a federal holiday or whatever. And so I'm like, oh, I just read about that or whatever. And he was like, oh, just letting you know, because I'm going to have tomorrow off. That's how I found out. Somebody called me just wanting to rub it in. But for me and the holiday, I mean, I think it should be recognized, and not just as a federal holiday. I think it should be what would that be, a national holiday?
Yeah, it need to be recognized like Christmas or Thanksgiving, to where I'm off of work.
What are those national holidays? That's what they're considered.
Well, what they're saying is federal holiday.
Yeah,
I mean,
I believe so.
Federal holidays, like you get the day off of work and things of that nature.
Yeah, but that's only like only for like banks, though. You know, banks, IRS, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
We don't
So I think it's BS.
I need that thing to ring like Christmas.
I'm gonna call BS on the whole thing.
That's
right?
what I think.
So what they're doing is giving us a pacifier again. Let's think about this, right? So we have the anti-lynching bill, right?
Right.
Sitting on the desk. We have the George Floyd police reform, whatever, sitting on the desk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Asians get a situation. Now they have a bill that's passed, and Black America's like, yo, what about us? And they're like, you know what? Here's a holiday that we can monetize because we see Black power is profitable. Here you go. Enjoy. Next year, we're going to have the biggest sales and the biggest barbecues and the biggest everything on the price of Black people again. So it's a pacifier. And then it's going to check the Joe Biden box of, look what I did for Black people. So what we gotta stop accepting these hopes. The hope idea. We get off on hope. We accept hope and not real things. At the end of the day, what does this do?
So here's my thing, right? Like I'm with y'all in the lines of I think it's BS,
I agree.
right?
I agree wholeheartedly.
You know, but you and it's sad to say this, but you know, because I don't like this rhetoric either, where people always say, "Oh, it's baby steps. It's baby steps." This lead. You take this and it leads to something else. Because I feel like there's more that can be done in the interim than this baby step.
Right.
Because the people who gets this holiday off is a federal holiday. So only people who has a federal job
banks,
is going to be required to take the day off, right?
Correct.
And so the people who deserves it the most is not even getting to take the day off, right?
It's basically like a Martin Luther King Jr. Day, something like that.
Don't even have anything to do with it. And I think I read a statistic that said, it costs the U.S. government $600 million for everybody in the federal, everybody who has a federal job to take one day off. Why not take that $600 million and do something better with it to help the Black community than to throw this smoking screen to celebrate Juneteenth? But at some point, I think later on down the line, it will become a national holiday, kind of like Columbus, Columbus Day, and people will take those days off.
But the thing is, so what? So what? We were fine celebrating on our own. So what? We don't need you to monetize this holiday for us. So what? What are you doing for us besides making more money off of us, using our $3 trillion that we spend a year for us to spend it on something that we think is for us? Like it come on, dog. We got to do better. We have to do better. It's just it's ridiculous. Next year is just going to be a holiday filled with sales. Like 2 years ago when Black Panther came out, right? Because this was the really, really big resurgence of almost like the 70s of Black Pride, right? It was when Black Panther came out, that's when it was like, yo, okay, this Black thing might be something. We might need to pay attention to it. And I saw Walmart. Walmart came out with a brand called Black Pride. All right. They were selling t-shirts with just Black sayings on them. Proud to be Black, melanin this, all of this stuff, right? Every year I saw that, like 2018 was the first year I saw it. I had never seen it before. And it was just during February. The next year, 2019, it was like, oh, okay, the display is kind of big here. 2020, it was a huge display. And I was like, oh, okay, I see what y'all doing. I see what it is. We're profitable. Melanin is profitable. Being melanated, being proud of it is profitable.
It's always been that way.
It's always been that way.
Think about anything. It's always they make money off of it. Even when it comes to the culture, they make money off of it. But
it's more detrimental to us to fall for it.
That's why I said it's one of those things where if you're not going to be able to wait on somebody to come and save the Black people, because it's not going to happen. You'll be waiting for the rest of your life. It's something that you got to do collectively on your own. But how do you do that is the question. How do you do that with so much, with so many different ideas? How do you do that? Even back in the day, we may not have all agreed, but there was one common goal. So I don't know how this works.
Mm-hmm. I just think it's tough because, anybody in the situation, you can't win for losing, because if it was never created and made a federal holiday and at some point, hopefully a national holiday, then people would be saying, well, why don't we make that a holiday? We celebrate Independence Day. We should be celebrating that. You know what I mean? Because we did hear that for a number of years.
True indeed.
But listen, what I'm saying is, it was okay for us to celebrate it on our own. It was us. You get what I'm saying?
I hear you, but there was a lot of people that was saying that it should be celebrated more widely.
I understand that. But see, this is what I'm saying. Even if we took it and celebrated amongst us more widely, we shopped Black on that day. We made things Black on that day. You know what I'm saying? For that weekend, we did what we had to do to put money back in our pockets on that weekend. It was an us thing. You know what I'm saying? Now it's them doing for us, just like Jay said. They're doing for us and they're getting it.
I think it always go back down to, how can we make money? If you look at it across, just from country to country, how is it that all these countries, all of them have at least 10 holidays a year? Like Canada has an Independence Day, America has an Independence Day, Mexico has an Independence Day. All of these people have a Valentine's Day or a Mother's Day. There's all of these where it's strategically placed almost every other month, so that way you could spend money almost every other month for that. And then in between the months where you don't have something to celebrate, now you got birthdays or anniversaries or all of this. So all of this is created to spend money.
Well, one, I think that we have to look at let's just take America, right? America by itself. We have to look at America, and America turns most tragedies into the barbecue day. That's just what they do. That's just what they do. 9/11 is going to be a barbecue day soon. Trust me. It's just what we do. Think about Memorial Day.
Right.
Think about Memorial Day. What is Memorial Day supposed to be for? It's to celebrate fallen soldiers. But it's just a barbecue day, dog. Like, that's literally what it is. And then it's a wild out weekend for us. I mean, but we have to understand what America does, and we have to stop. Or we have to start looking at America for what it is. Stop expecting America to show us something different than it showed us. Stop it, dog. Like it's like, come on, like, yo, and we keep falling for the okie doke. And at some point, you're almost the abused female that stays with the guy. Like, yo, you must like this, dog. Like, we keep trying to come get you and say, yo, you have to leave the situation. Why are you doing this to yourself?
So why?
And it's
do you move? So do you move to the A?
Well,
and I ain't talking about Atlanta.
Okay, no, real talk. Okay, so let's no, for real. Hold on. Let me do this. So real talk. I think that there's a lot of things that we have to cover as Black people before we can make a move somewhere else, right? Before we can make a
when I say the A, I'm talking about Africa.
I understand that, but we have to do something as far as Black people because, so we're sick. African Americans are sick. All right. And when I say sick, I mean mentally. All right. The thing is this, let's think of the idea of slavery, right? Slavery ended, let's say, approximately 140-ish years ago, right? So that's two grandmothers back to back if they live to be the age of 70, right? That's just ballpark numbers. We ain't going exact dates, but it's just ballpark numbers, right? So that's literally almost just 140 years out of slavery, right? Then, what was it? 1965 was the Civil Rights Act, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't
dates. Somebody Google,
but find out.
But 1965, right? How many years ago was that? Maybe 60 years? Maybe? So
it wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago. So think about this, right? Think about it as surgery, right? The longer you're in surgery, the longer you have to heal from it. If we were in bondage for 400 years, over 400 years during surgery, right? Then we had another surgery right after that surgery because we had to go right into Jim Crow and all of that stuff, right? 64, all of that stuff, right? We're just now starting to heal. So we haven't even went through our healing process. But not only is Black America, we haven't went through our healing process. We haven't been out of it long enough or away from it long enough to go through our healing process, right? But then we have to stop looking at ourselves through the eyes of the slave master. So we still do that. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of fixing that.
So how about, so you're saying that like there is a lot of fixing, but it's mental, right? People,
right.
We had this conversation before. People talk about, I need to go to the doctor because my leg hurt, or I have this ailment or whatever.
Right.
But in all actuality, man, in order for us to even get to that point, there has to be some type of it has to be some type of mental healing. To your point,
right.
There has to be some type of mental healing, but we don't take going to see a psychiatrist. We don't take going.
Well, the thing is,
we don't take none of that seriously.
The thing is, though, a psychiatrist ain't gonna be able to check this.
No, he talking beyond a psychiatrist.
A psychiatrist ain't gonna be able to check.
So then, how do you address
it? This is because one, not only are Black Americans, African Americans, however you wanna, not only are we sick, but America is mentally ill. You know what I'm saying? So we all messed up. We are all messed up. Slavery has done it to all of us, to where we see each other through the eyes of the slave master, and they still see us through the eyes of the slave master. However, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot that we have to do. Picking up and just running to Africa is not going to do it, because at the end of the day, they don't really accept us like that, because we don't accept us like that. You understand what I'm saying?
But it's still,
they on us. They on us over there. You know what I mean?
No. But the thing is,
still comes back to this. We know what the issues is, but I mean, we know what the issues are. But what are the solutions? What to move forward?
Okay, so
what do you got to do to move forward?
But the thing is, do we know what the issues are? Do we really know what the issues are?
Majority of people don't know what the issues are, bro.
You don't fix nothing.
Huh? Majority of people don't know what the issues are, and majority of people don't want to know what the issues are. They just want to continue going on.
We don't know what we really don't know what the issues are. So because one, we have so much we have a lot of infighting. We have the woke against the not woke. We have the too woke. So you too woke to pay attention to the not woke. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have a whole lot of this. So it's like, yo, well, you so woke, you so far removed from those who are still kind of walking around like, I'm just trying to figure this out, dog. I'm trying to figure out tomorrow. I'm not even thinking about a lineage.
We're not in unison.
We're not. So picking up and going to Africa is just not going to do it. So
no, I ain't saying that. I'm saying, like, when I say that, I'm talking about in the sense of, like I said, you go to Africa, you waking up as the minority. You know what I mean? At that point. And I'm speaking from facts. You know what I mean? My wife is African. So at this point, I'm just saying, and that point, and that aspect of it, and me and Jay be going back and forth about it, and I'll be showing them the different videos and stuff over there. But there are benefits to doing it when your country that you are in and that you were born and raised in, you know what I mean? Like I said, keep showing you the ass, basically. Mm-hmm. Because everything that you're saying, that's been going on since day one. You know, we've had the woke people, you know what I mean, who's been woke. You had, all of this, it's just basically repeating itself, you know what I mean, over and over and over again, to where at this point, like I said, it's like beating a dead horse. You know what I mean?
Jay, to your question, it's tough to know where to start when there's no unified leadership in anything. And then whenever there's a modicum of unified leadership, something's going to happen for that to be taken out, for that to be deleted.
Let me cut here, right? Like it's so funny, right? Because every race here in, let's just say America, right? Everybody in America has their representation, and they have their agenda, right? Tell me what the Black agenda is.
This is what I keep saying.
Tell me what the Black agenda is, dog.
I know what my agenda is.
No. We can't think separately.
What I'm saying.
We gotta go because the Asian has an agenda.
Listen to what
Asians
I'm saying.
Have an agenda.
But you have to understand. You have to get where you, like you said, you can say that about every other race that's come into America that has an agenda. Of course, it's easy for you to have an agenda at that point. You know what I mean? Just like if you went over to another country right now, your agenda is going to be totally different because you're going to look at how you can capitalize based on being a foreigner and the opportunities that may be different than the person who was born and raised there. You know what I mean?
Understood.
The opportunities are different.
It still goes back to the same thing. Like, we can sit here and talk about the problems all day, right? And we're going to be here 10 years later.
Where do you understood? You're right.
Where do you start to fix it?
You start somewhere, one person, you start.
Right.
And then it's that's how you get your that's how you're able to get a representation.
I think
person
the first
is
step
smart.
is to understand self-sufficiency and not rely on somebody else to provide for something that you should go ahead and do. You know what I mean? That's how I feel like even with during this whole COVID-19 period, I know a lot of people lost their jobs, but then a lot of people was just looking for a handout. And I think at some point you got to stop looking for somebody to take care of you, so that way you
Right.
can start progressing forward.
Now,
Hey,
I mean,
Nostradamus. I
even
mean,
with that,
hey,
I
not.
can't even,
Hey,
I
Nas.
can't
Let
even
me
buy
ask you a
that.
question real quick. Do you consider yourself conservative?
Yeah, I'm very conservative.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that's a real conservative view. Not that you're wrong. That's a conservative view. Most black people don't have that view because it's real conservative, and they automatically equate it to welfare. But you good? All right, cool.
Go ahead,
So
Jay.
what I was going at, even in saying, going out and do X, Y, and Z, people do go out and do X, Y, and Z. They do go out and try to start something and get something going. There was a news report. It was over in California. Don't quote me on the exact location, but my man, there was a beach, Huntington Beach or something like that. Whatever it was over in Cali. It was owned by a black family. It was taken. Later on, they figured out what it was and they gave it back to them. But situations like that happen all the time. So when people say pull yourself up by your bootstraps, that's some BS, dude. Like, if anybody knows how to do that, we know how to do that. But at some point, when you're trying to pick something, when you're trying to do something and pull yourself up, and somebody just comes back and knock you down and be like, "Oh, you need to do better," or over time you get tired.
No,
So
I'm about to say that.
And that goes to what's happening over and over. People get tired. So when people saying like Nostradamus was saying self-sufficient, like there are people that are out here trying to do what they need to do, but when certain things are made for you not to succeed, it makes it a little tough.
No, most definitely.
Your representation is all over the damn TV. Like, this is what it's supposed to be. This is normal. Like, that messes with me.
But I think also that thing with Diddy, that he's the little thing that he's aiming for, where they talking about starting their own black political party. You know what I mean? Hopefully that whole movement will go in the right direction. You know what I mean? To where you really get people who support. You know what I mean? And not the people that's going to tear us down. You know what I mean?
Right.
As far as within ourselves.
Yeah.
But
I was thinking about the whole. Go ahead.
For you, real quick, Sean, because you had asked, do you just move back to the A? And my thing is, why do people ask, do you move back to Africa? Africa has so many different countries. Why not just specify a specific country? Like, because Italians don't say, "Oh, I'm gonna move back to Europe." They're gonna say, "I'm gonna move back to Italy." French people ain't gonna say, "I'm gonna move, to Europe." So why is it that people always say, "Oh, well, would you move back to Africa?" Why not specify a specific country?
So to be specific on it, I mean, hell, you got South Africa. I mean, you got Zambia. You got people moving to Ghana. People moving to Rwanda right now. You know what I mean? And making a great living. Now, do you got to get used to changes? Hell yeah. It's definitely a difference. But me personally, not saying that, oh, I'm about to pack up and move. But I'm just saying in general, there's a lot of us who has made that transition. And it's like all over the internet right now. And the peace of mind, you know what I mean? With the things that we go through.
My point is, if you say, would you move back to Africa? Every country in Africa is different. You know what I mean? So you could,
correct.
From one country to another country, they're going to have their own problems. So when you say, would you move back to Africa? You got to understand what country in the continent of Africa that you're willing to move to.
But that's just the start. That's the start question.
Price and cost thing. It goes right back to that price and cost thing, man. If you don't understand what's going on in that particular country that you're going to have to deal with when you get over there, does it make it any better? Is the grass really greener? Or do you deal with the situation that you got right here and figure out a way to navigate that? Otherwise, your kids and your kids' kids are going to have to deal with the same thing unless somebody says, all right, we're going to start here. And it, like I said before, it starts with one. When has it ever been 200 people to just start? Just we're gonna make this work and just start. It's never been that way. It starts with one. So who's gonna be the example? If that's what you're saying that we need to do, start. To me, it's just one of those things where, okay, I'm gonna deal with this issue and I'm gonna start moving here. And then I can deal with the next issue. On the way, you start finding people who are like-minded. Then you can start doing things together, and it may take a while, but you got to teach that, and you got to work together in order to get that. You got to start from somewhere.
All right, can I go back to something Sean said? And I just had a question. You mentioned that Sean Combs was trying to start a political party with just for us, by us type of situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sean, I right? Let me ask you. Do you think that would have an effect on the political scope of America? Like make any change either way, left or right, or
me personally? Honestly, I don't know. But the to answer your question, honestly, I think the hope on that part is like little, very, very little, in thinking that the change will take effect unless, like you said, we are moving in unison, like Nay said. We all got to be on the same page. We could have been took over and changed some things if we just stuck to the program and say, you know what? Even if you take it into the sports world and say, all right, fine. Let's take these kids, HBCUs, not going to these big time colleges for TV time and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? Like you heard Deion Sanders say, not one kid from an HBCU was drafted in the NFL draft this year. How ironic. You know what I mean? What are they doing different? You know what I mean?
Well,
so
I think
how is that even possible?
Well, I think that's something that again, that's us seeing ourselves through the eyes of the slave master, because we see value in theirs more than we see value in ours. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. That's what I'm saying. If we took the reins and said and really stood by it and say, you know what, this is what we're going to represent. But like I said, we have agreed within ourselves. You know what I mean? Where it's not about me looking out for you. You know what I mean? Or you looking out for me. It's about how far up that ladder you can get, make sure your people's straight, meaning your family and stuff like that, your people who surround you, but not looking at the big picture as a whole to say, let's do this together. Because you think about how many successful people we have in this world, you know what I mean, that look like us, that have the power to move these chips on the board. But like I said, that fear of risking it all to make changes ain't happening like that. You know what I mean? I don't knock the person for it because hell, they worked hard for where they at. But at the end of the day, if you expecting change, like Jay said, you got to start somewhere. You know what I mean? And they want to start from the bottom feeders to say, hey, let me change this.
So let me interject with this, right? You know, just still on the whole, you know, the political idea, political party or whatnot, right? And us doing something for us. Do we need to widen the scope and not just aim at like why not scope and aim at white supremacy more than just the idea of the political aspect? Because if we, the 13%, right, forge our own political party to make our own views, we're going to be lost in the shuffle, right? I think that we have to aim for something that's more higher, that can really make change. And I think trying to attack white supremacy or the idea of white supremacy should be the aim.
So what's
and
that?
Then I think that we would be able to get more, because I think that that separates more. Okay, so at some point, right, when we say, yo, we're going to make our own political party, then that separates us from everybody kind of under the same thumb as white supremacy. So that separates us from the Mexicans, from the Asians, from the Arabs, from the, You know what I'm saying? Now, if we say, yo, we need to band together and take over white supremacy or take down white supremacy, whatever. Now we're with the Asians, we're with the Mexicans, we're with the Arabs, we're with the Puerto Ricans. Like we're with everybody who is under that thumb. Am I making sense here?
But I look at it like this, and I get you, but it's more to that story. You have to watch that
getting
video.
My group together to fight this one bully, then we getting everybody together. We're gonna take down all the bullies. You know what I'm saying?
But it still comes back to what are we doing about our situation, because that's a collective.
I think we can. I think honestly,
but we also got to look at the fact of
one situation to get to the other. You know what I'm saying? Because white supremacy is the system. So if we don't take down the system will. So
I don't think it's us standing with other people. I think it's more so. I think we already stand with other people, other races. I think we stand with other people, open-heartedly with other races. But who stands with us? You know what I mean? When it comes down to, like you're saying, us strapping up them boots and saying, okay, we're going to start this political party. But they had other, things that they were throwing in there. Like they're somehow, okay, well, we'll get like one of these white kids or something like that who we can kind of train up and look after, you know what I mean, to put in the forefront. They had a lot of moving pieces in this whole idea. But the only part I don't agree with, like I said, as far as what you're saying, like when it comes to taking down the white supremacy, I think we're so much of a chameleon when it comes to every race in this world, no matter where we are, no matter where we go. I mean, it's the people standing with us, you know what I mean, to want to stand and go through that fight with us, because they might be like, hey, that ain't my fight. But we always step in the realms and we going to fight for everybody. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's as easy as that. You know what I mean? I don't think. Yeah. So I don't think it's us. You know what I mean? Like putting ourselves in a box to say, okay, well, we're going to try to do this ourselves. No, we want everybody to stand, but you can't be Puerto Rican or Dominican and not feel like you're going through them same turmoils or standing with us when, hell, you look at just as bad as we are. If you want to look at it from a white supremacy part, I mean, you look at what's going on in the Asian world right now. It's all day, you know what I mean? So who's going to stand with us to push the boot and move forward? You know what I mean? We always been standing. We've been 10 toes down. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And some 11.
Some 11.
Yeah, some people got 11 toes.
Oh my God.
This dude right here.
I swear.
I think we need people to stand with us, but like Jay said, where do you start?
Final thoughts on that?
I mean, hell, I think, like I said, if you're gonna make it a holiday, it need to be a national holiday where it's like Christmas, Thanksgiving, stuff like that. Don't give me no make it like a Martin Luther King Day or something like that. Nah. It got to be more than that if you're going to make it a holiday. But for the most part, like I said, we're going to celebrate how we celebrate anyway. And we're going to do what we want to do anyway. So
we was going to do that anyway. I know I celebrated Juneteenth last year.
You already know.
Yeah, me and my family, we did some stuff right here to celebrate.
So we're going to make it happen how we make it happen.
And that was exactly what Official was saying earlier. Any final thoughts, Official?
Look out for the Juneteenth sales. I mean, that's just what it's going to be. That's literally. I mean, ribs and watermelon on sale. That's literally ribs and watermelon on sale. So they just gonna do that. I mean, I understand it's America. I expect nothing but the best from America. So that's what they're giving me. They best.
What you got? Final thoughts now? Stradamus?
So here's my final thoughts on Juneteenth. I like it because I think it's one step in the right direction, although it's a very minor step. But I don't like it because of that reason, and it doesn't even affect the people who deserves for it to affect. Because how many Black people are working in federal jobs to be able to say they get to reap the benefits of having that day off? So it's another way that other people other than black people can benefit off the backs of black people. So that's why I don't like it. And again, I read somewhere that said it, for federal employees to take one day off, it costs $600 million. That $600 million can be taken and, divvied up to different programs designed to help out black people in the inner city, to help out education, to help out infrastructure, instead of building projects. But at the same time, like I said, to me, it's a step in the right direction. I just wish more would happen on a wider scale.
There it is. So for me, I think, the Juneteenth thing, like I said, my wife and my kids, we were celebrating this already. So, and I actually learned about Juneteenth, funny as it may sound, from my sister. And she was explaining to me everything that happened because I didn't even know. That's sad. But I learned it from her, and then from there we kept it moving. But to me, I just think I focus on what I got going on for my family and trying to set an example going forward. And then the things that we got to work on within our community, I think we need to address. But as far as the Juneteenth thing goes, I see where you're coming from, official. That makes sense. So that's my final thought.
Back on the grind, remember the times, I'm feeling like Michael. Taking a stand, creating a plan, and beating the cycle. We got a whole lot of work we gotta do. Give me the raw, give me the real, just give me the truth. We start a conversation, then let the world debate it. Breath of fresh air coming through just like ventilation. And no boy, let me tell you about the squad. A dream team, so you know they coming hard. Now first up, let me tell you about Jay. You know he wise, man, that boy got knowledge for days. Check out his mind. Then we got Sean coming through like Thanos, keep him in line. He's a quiet storm, but don't get it twisted, you see the grind. And next up, we gotta talk about Nate. You know she slay. She got the brains and the beauty plus strength to keep you straight. And last but not least, we got Nostradamus. He's the voice of the people, so he'll keep it poppin'. My squad gon' keep it 100, and that's all facts. They're here to spark the conversation. Now you debate that.